Welcome. We would like to bring forth to you today three major themes that we see will be operating in the collective into this linear 2025 year. The first being what we will call the fear virus. The second, the disassembly and renewal process. And the third, the learning to really engage with the wisdom of the body and your heart. You see, the mind was constructed actually to be a secondary property that would unravel, that would decode the messages from the heart and the body. The felt sense, the feeling is uniquely created in the human biome. This is not necessarily true on other planetary systems or other frequencies. This was a very unique quality that was brought in by the seeders of your planet to afford this wonderful experience of engaging through feelings, senses, and the body tones. But something did go awry down the line, and we will call this the fear virus that was implanted into the human makeup and genetics. And this is the very thing that actually you are learning to decode, if you will, and renew and reframe in very different terms indeed. Some of these energies and systems that sought to recode, reprogram the human experience were very interested in the service to self energy. They saw this as an opportunity to direct the behavioral model in a way that would serve them. But we want you to be very clear, this was not the intention. This was an interruption, an invasion of sorts, and we call this the fear virus because it took into the mind these patterns that were very intentionally encoded within your frame of reference and within your behavioral patterns. Now, because you are in such a time of recall and retrieval, this is a big focus for the lovely human collective going forward. This has been occurring for some time, but this is going to amplify up even further because of all of the energy supporting and the many beings that are around your planet here to be of aid to you in your soul contracts and your soul growth. So the fear virus is when you are focusing on that which is lowering your consciousness. And we would say there are so many sources that are aimed at doing so, be that what you call the media, what you call your entertainment systems. And of course, because this virus has embedded in so many, you often experience this in both your family and your friend dynamics. So know this, fear is a vibration that often takes you out of the body and into your mind, into your thinking mind. And the mind is leading, shall we say. But that was actually not the intention in the original programming and the DNA sequencing. But because your DNA sequencing is turning on once again, you naturally need to be engaging with these patterns that more and more will becoming obsolete in your frame of reference. You are a divine group of beings simply by being here and listening to this engagement. We know full well that you are here to help birth this transition. And this occurs most assuredly within your own frame of reference, first and foremost. We see an amplification of these fear programs, and you are able to see them more readily and how they make you feel, how they make you think, and how it is literally lowering your sense of comfort and wellness in all manner. So even while you are re-engaging these and learning to bring this into the heart space to be encompassed We would even give the example of swallowed whole, to be swallowed and integrated into the heart of love, consciousness, compassion, and increased awareness. You can continue to feed this virus to your heart with her agreement, and she will most assuredly help you to mitigate, to modulate, and to transmute this original virus that is more and more and more becoming obsolete and dysfunctional. But while you're moving through this, it is not uncommon that these very themes become amplified. These are circuits, if you will, that are being amplified because of the strong contrast of the light and the frequency that is engaging and surrounding both within your earth, upon your earth, and from without your earth, through the galactic fields, the galactic tones, the radiation, the radiance, and the strong plasma fields that you are moving through. So we want you to understand that this is normal for this time as we see it, that these will become amplified, and to understand as you are learning to be creator of and with your own frequency once again, that you bring this in the heart to be subsumed, to be reorganized, to be lovingly digested and released. And what is happening is because of the contrast of all of the fear and the chaotic tones quite consciously being used to keep humanity at this lowered level. You understand that this is being amplified in your own life, not for a criticism or for a not enough pattern, but for you to see it because it is stronger because of the frequency. And then you can engage with this and bring this back into the heart to reorient it, to reform. So we are seeing the fear virus quite strong in certain areas of your population. You are seeing it arising within yourself, and perhaps even strongly in the people around you. But what we say to you is this is occurring below the level of consciousness, even, that people are coming into a more renewed state of calm, inner balancing, and well-being. And so too are you understanding that this is very much a vibrational passage that is intended to modulate this, and for you to be very aware that this has been a programmed program, shall we say. The next piece that we would like to speak about is the disassembling process that you are witnessing. So many of you lovingly agreed to come onto this planet and to help birth the way, if you will, in the shifting from the lower vibrations to the higher vibrations, and being well aware that this is occurring within you as well. But how can there be new growth without the disassembly occurring? Much is falling away as far as what we have discussed before. The particle matrix of these patterns and of these vibrations are not holding. They are actually phasing in and out more frequently. How you can be of service to this pattern is to hold that light and to hold that vision and to hold that love of what for some of you is a far off imagining of what love, cooperation, creativity, unfettered by fear viruses, can look like and feel like within your own body. We could suggest that you could put out into the world, I am grateful for the increasing awakening both within and without, that is tied to love, that is tied to sovereignty, that is tied to inner strength and awareness, and sinking into my own tonal patterns and a deepening sense of respect and empowerment. As you hold this intention within you, you can send this to the matrix outside of you, to aid others who may be at a tipping point. We call this ancillary light, where you are expanding a frequency base and it is connecting with other like beings, and the frequency base is then expanded because of the intention and the consciousness that you are bringing to it. You see? And the third piece we want to address is the staying in the body. This is very much a time of learning to bring more comfort, peace, spaciousness, and wellness to your body. Anytime you are offloading most of your focus and your attention outside of the body, that keeps you in the lower patterns, you see? That keeps you in the interrupted patternings that some of these beings brought in tied to fear virus. So the more you withdraw that offloading out there, and the more that you work with this in here and move it through your body and through your system, and you take this down into Earth herself, and you bring this up, and you always anchor and you always center in the heart. The body is an important vehicle and function that was specifically programmed in your coding to house the functional operation of the soul, of the consciousness. And this is part of the grand experiment, and why this is such a special place, because it was discussed and shared that wouldn't it be lovely to be engaged within this biological housing and to work with one's consciousness through the frequency and the creative act of the feeling and the emotional tones. We don't want to get too complex here, but we come in most assuredly as a desire to encourage you and to share with you you are doing well. And while you are watching old points of reference that are falling away, and by this we mean those outlets, those thoughts about leadership or politics or systems that you have known well through your earth years that are in a state of shift and change. This is actually serving you as a contrasting model to bring that point of focus here. And we are seeking and encouraging you to work with your own consciousness technology and to repeat this, to engage with this over and over and over, because this is such a different skill set that is, for some of you, completely new indeed. But that is where your creativity resides. But more importantly, for this time ahead, your healing and your integration. And it is in the body. It is with the heart. It is with your vibration. And we also want to ask you to really notice how your body is feeling, how your body is responding to different information or engagements that you habitually engage with, that you experience as you're moving through your world, in your own home, your own habits. If you do nothing more than focus on how your body feels into this time ahead, you are of great service to your own journey and path of disassembly and renewal, and that path for the collective going forward. We would like to end this channel and say to you how much we love, respect, and encourage the journey you are on. Many of us on the planet are not meant to be looked up to as gods or something outside of self. You are awakening more and more to the understanding that we are a part of you, and you are indeed a part of us. So this is a loving relationship, companionship, engagement with aspects of yourself that are tuning in to soul themes and tones that are tied in very specifically to your own soul contracts, to your own Akashic fields, if you will. That this is not by happenstance, but much of this for the individual as well as the collective is tied to your own history, going back as well as forward. We wish you much love, and we are so grateful to have this platform in which to communicate with you today. Be well through this transitional phase. Have great faith, but more importantly, a deepening love and self-respect for this passage moving forward. Be well.